Hello, welcome to the October version of CGov's The Parish Line. We cover the events, programs, and policies of the Calcasieu Parish Police Jury. On this month's program, we will learn about TASK, a truancy center at our Juvenile Justice Department, see new kiosks at our parish parks, and get information on Section 8 housing applications in Calcasieu. Up first on the Parish Line, on October 3rd, the police jury approved a plan to expand sewerage systems in unincorporated areas of the parish. The proposed expansion would use gaming funds, state grants, and a quarter-cent sales tax to construct sewer lines totaling $110 million.
The main reason for sewerage is first and foremost public health and the protection of public health and safety. That's one of the key things that a local government does. So it's imperative for purposes of treating water that we tend to this issue. So for example, if you have untreated or undertreated sewerage coming from a lot of homes, and in the unincorporated areas, it's mostly these mechanical systems. Those go into the ditches, which go into the canals, which go into our rivers, and that's where people swim, fish, boat, ski, and so it's very critical that those remain as uncontaminated as possible. But in addition to that, there's a lot of other reasons for sewage. Economic development. It's been proven empirically many times over when you invest in sewer and water infrastructure, your payback in private investment, not public, but private, is as much as 6 to 1. So that's why you can create more business activity in addition to roads, making sure you extend utilities. And so if you look back at going back, matter of fact, as far back as 1992, this is nothing new, a company called Fantas was hired by the Chamber, and one of their key findings was we lacked a regional approach to sewer infrastructure, and it was hindering our ability to grow our economy. But it's a very challenging service, and so it's taken a long time to try to address this, and the sprawl is really what's caused it. So if you look at where is the parish looking to expand sewage, and where do these proposals come from, you're mainly looking at the densely populated areas south of Lake Charles, south of Sulphur, and what is normally known as Carlis, the Carlis area, and Moss Bluff. Now there's some other areas as well that are in the plan, mainly some fringe areas around each of the smaller municipalities. So it is truly a parish-wide plan. It's been a need to complement what we've already started. The police jury has passed an inspection program that's worked well for about 1.5 years now. We also have good ordinances in place that will require you have a community type system in new subdivisions, and these are all unincorporated areas only. So this is the third leg of a three-legged plan, if you will, and the biggest part. Where can we start expanding sewerage to tackle this problem? And it is not an overnight problem. We didn't get here overnight. We're not going to solve it overnight, but there's an old proverb that says the best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. We can't go back and correct what's happened. We can make a difference starting now, and it will be a big benefit to those over the next generation and beyond.
The plan has undergone several changes since it was first introduced this summer. The plan has been trimmed in both the scope and the cost.
Back in late July, after several months of intense work, the staff presented to the police jury's wastewater committee a plan that would develop a backbone system, is what we call it. So you have sewerage pipe, if you will, that would be going down many main corridors in mainly these populated areas. The cost of that would be paid for through a 1/2-cent sales tax, gaming funds, and some state grants. So we went out to the public. We got a lot of input from the general public in unincorporated areas, as well as the cities that we needed to work with that these pipes would connect to, because you need the city's sewer treatment to make this work and be more effective. A lot of good input, and so we heard several things. One, people want you to try to use as many of your existing dollars as you can. The idea of a new tax, whether it was for sewage or anything else, at the 1/2-cent level was a bit concerning for some. So what we went back and did, because the sewer plan was well received, but it's, as always, what will it cost? And so the modified plan, which was presented recently back to the police jury, which the police jury okayed, was to go down to a 1/4 cent sales tax, and also at the same time take the parish's road and garbage tax, reduce it by a 1/4 cent. Now that would apply in every part of the parish except Moss Bluff Gillis, which is Ward 1. And that tax for road and garbage doesn't exist there, so there's nothing to reduce. But in the other areas of the parish, it essentially is tax neutral for the remainder of that term, which is about 7 years. Now what happens in Moss Bluff Gillis, the net would be a 1/4 cent tax, but it is still a very good project, probably 70% of what we initially proposed. The rest just may need to come in future phases. We're heavily using gaming funds in this. We increased the level of gaming that would be committed up to $56 million. That's over 10 years. And it's about $12 million in state grants that we expect to receive from this. So we're utilizing all the different sources we can, but it is such a big service. There is a need for a new tax, but we did lessen the impact through these latest actions.
Because the expansion would be using sewer treatment facilities operated by local municipalities, the police jury has approved an oversight commission involving representatives from the cities and towns to help manage the parish expansion.
The sewer commission that has been proposed, and the police jury has okayed that, and we worked with cities to establish that, is put together so that each of the cities in the parish, we can all work together on an agreement that is considered a cooperative endeavor, because unlike other services, you are going to need to connect these sewer pipes to sewer treatment, and most of the time the cities have the treatment. So it's a complex service, and having a commission allows us some continuity and standardization, if you will, on some of these agreements we need with cities about treatment, because we can come up with a model agreement. The commission is made up of representatives from the parish and the cities as far as their appointments. And so it's really just a good working together plan to improve the way we work with cities for this service of sewage. All those recommendations that come out of there would go back to the police jury. So they serve as basically a clearinghouse for prioritization and coordination between the parish and all the cities.
The police jury plans to call for a tax election to fund the expansion next spring. If that's approved, design and construction phases will get underway.
There's a lot of moving parts to this plan, but the one that's probably the most important for the public to know is that the calling of a tax is a part of it. As of November 7th, we anticipate the police jury will formally approve the tax call. That's for 1/4 cent, parish-wide, unincorporated only. Nobody in the cities will be voting on this. And that election will be April 5th, 2014, so it'll be next spring. We have to work out agreements with each of the cities between now and then on a lot of the details about connections. And we're very hopeful that we can communicate well with the public, explain the plan, and get support. So over the next several months, we'll do a good public awareness campaign. And we feel very justified that this is needed. It's been a long time, and it's affordable, and will have a lot of impact in a positive way for all of Calcasieu Parish.
The expected economic development activity in the parish over the next 5 to 7 years may mean enough revenue will be generated by the proposed tax that the projects could be expanded further. The Calcasieu Parish Housing Department works with HUD to offer rental assistance. Molly Morgan has the story.
Throughout the unincorporated areas of Calcasieu Parish, residents may apply for housing assistance. Human Services Housing Supervisor Albertha Chavis explains.
The Housing Choice Voucher Program, known to many as the Section 8 program, is here to help low to moderate income families with housing rental assistance. The rules and regulations of the program are governed by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, and the Housing Authority is afforded choices in the operation of the program, which is implemented in the administrative plan, and it's approved by the police jury.
Chavez talks about Section 8 housing in the rural areas.
We handle the unincorporated areas, and the families that are pulled from the waiting list have to have their eligibility verified before we can offer any assistance. When a family is determined to be eligible for the program, they're issued a voucher to find housing in the unincorporated areas of Calcasieu. Now the voucher is mobile, so it can be transferred to other housing agencies, but they must first use it in the initial housing agency's jurisdiction before we can grant them portability to another agency. Must use the voucher for at least a year in the initial HA's jurisdiction before the portability is granted. Even though a family can be determined to be eligible for the program, the owner still has a responsibility of approving the family as a suitable renter for a unit.
Owners have their responsibilities that must be fulfilled once a family has met the requirements.
Even though the family is determined to be eligible for the program, the owner has the responsibility of approving the family as a suitable renter for the unit. The contract rent for the unit must not exceed HUD's fair market rents, and the unit must meet housing quality standards before we can distribute any funds.
If you have any questions concerning the program, call the Human Services Department at 721-4030. For the Parish Line, I'm Molly Morgan.
Rental assistance for low to moderate income families is available to residents of Calcasieu Parish. The Business and Career Solutions Center put on their quarterly job fair this month. Here's Jessica Williamson.
With industry expansion coming to Southwest Louisiana, thousands of jobs will be created over the next 5 years. The Business and Career Solutions Center bridges the gap between those looking for employees and those looking for employment.
Heard about the economic boom that we're having in this area, so we do have some of those out here today. We have employers such as Sasol, Flora, LaVerge, Ala Capri, and a lot of different employers out here today.
Job seekers were encouraged to come prepared with a resume.
We started a month ago asking all of our customers that came through to come prepare their resume, come prepared today with their resume in hand to give to the employees. Tell them dress for success, to come dress properly, come with their resumes, to come with a smile and a good attitude.
Nearly 24 employers attended the job fair with a pool of around 300 job seekers. Some employees will conduct interviews and hire on the spot.
Also, employers send us numbers of people they hired and interview. Some of the employers interview right here on the spot, and some of them even hire right here on the spot. And others, they set up interviews and take resumes.
The center also provides employment assistance, including resume building, one-on-one job search help, and even child care and transportation services.
Here at the center, we provide resume service. They can do their resume online. They can register for laworks.net to go in and do their job search, look for employers. Employers can look for workers through our work site.
For individuals looking for employment, there are multiple resources at the Business and Career Solutions Center to help.
I believe that there are jobs out there for everyone right now, and it's going to only get better. I would ask them that they come in. We also, if they think they're having problems with their job seeking skills, we do have a job readiness workshop every second Friday of the month, and so they can come here at free of charge and do that. They can also come in and do their resumes. We have somebody critique their resumes to make sure that it's the resume it's not the resume that's preventing them from getting the job. But I believe there are jobs out there for everyone right now.
For the Parish Line, I'm Jessica Williamson.
The next job fair at the center will be in January. You are watching the Parish Line, a production of CGov. If you visited our parish parks lately, you might have noticed something different. Margaret Higgins recently traveled to several parks to check out a new feature.
A new addition has been added to selected parks in Calcasieu Parish. Park Superintendent Lacey Carter explains.
The Calcasieu Parish Police Jury was able to partner with the Lake Charles Southwest Louisiana Convention and Visitors Bureau, and through them and through actually use of BP funds, we were able to come and put in these park kiosks in each park. These kiosks basically educate the public on what's available at the park, what amenities can be used at the parks, and then if somebody's at one particular park and they see this actual kiosk, they're able to look and see if they like these amenities, what could be offered at another park, these same amenities. And so it actually gives the public time to sit and reflect and look and answer their questions and make information available to them that otherwise wouldn't be available unless they made a phone call.
The kiosks are strategically located within the parks.
Most of our kiosks are actually located at the main entrance of the parks or wherever we have a big amenity. I'll give you an example. Prairie Lake Park actually has 2 kiosks. One kiosk will actually be located along our walking track for our parish residents who like to take advantage of that park and do their morning daily strolls in the morning overlooking the lake. The other place that kiosk will be put when our construction is finished will be right near the boat launch. They'll actually explain to you about the boat launch, what you can fish, what you can find. And then back on the other side will actually be during October and April, we do Movie Under the Stars at Prairie Lake Park. So we'll actually list the Movie Under the Stars and what you can expect, and just to bring out the family. We wanted these kiosks to be able to basically talk to the public and explain to the public what they're looking at and if they do have any questions. We want our parish residents to use these parish parks. We want you to bring your family out and enjoy what all different parks have to offer, whether it's an alligator park, Prairie Lake Park, Holbrook Park, Intracoastal Park, or all the way to Lorraine Park. We want you guys to come out and enjoy this family time and spend time together and use our parish parks.
For the Parish Line, I'm Margaret Higgins.
To book a pavilion or fishing tournament, visit the Parks and Recreation Department's new location on the 4th floor of the 901 Lakeshore Drive building, or call 721-3540. At a recent meeting, the police jury approved a contract with the Louisiana Commission on Law Enforcement to continue funding for their TASK program. Here's CGov's J.P. Booth.
The Truancy and Assessment Service Center, otherwise known as TASK, is operated out of the Calcasieu Parish Office of Juvenile Justice Services, with the goal to assist kindergarten through 5th grade students having trouble with attendance and tardiness. The police jury entered into a contract with the Louisiana Commission on Law Enforcement to continue its funding from the Louisiana legislature.
TASK money, the Truancy Assessment Service Center, that money is awarded every year by the state legislature. They awarded us $189,000 again this year, and we've been pretty consistent over the last couple of years because of our performance-based. How quickly we are seeing the kids that are sent to us, they have a certain amount of days that they can get the kids in, and then it's performance-based about how they come back, and recidivism, about are they still having problems, and then a lot of it has to do with the school board getting us the referrals there. The school, when they see 3 unexcused absences, K through 5 or tardies or whatnot, they're the ones that send us the referral. It all starts with them, and we assist them. They have their own child welfare and attendance system, but this is more of an enhanced program, and so obviously it all comes from them. The district attorney's office obviously has given us the latitude to not bring these children to court. The judge's office, when we do have to bring them to court, they have been, Johnny on the spot. And our own boots on the ground people. I mean, they're the ones that are seeing the kids and making sure the kids and the families are receiving the services that they need, so they don't come back. And that comes through service providers. We don't do that ourselves because we're not counselors, but our nonprofit agencies have really stepped up, and they provide those parenting skills, to help these young people, to get back in school.
TASK provides assistance to students by diving into their home life and determining what barriers are preventing them from getting to school.
The biggest thing is we're looking at their home. I mean, it could be a medical issue, JP. It could be, a child might have some type of, like a skin disease or lice or what have you, and they just need, the basic medicine to get over it. And so we provide that, investigate and find out what the problem is. Why is this kindergartner missing school? Obviously, it's not the child's fault. I mean, it's just not. I mean, you think about it, a kindergartner's not going to miss school because they don't want to go. Some of them, they don't want to go, but us as parents, we kind of give them that nurturing and that little shove to go to school, and we encourage that. And so that's what a lot of this has to do with, is assisting the parents to make sure that they have the skills necessary to help them out, to make sure that they know what to say. Sometimes it's an alarm clock. You know, sometimes it's a book sack, sometimes it's school uniforms. We provide that. You know, we have some funds that are discretionary from 4E and federal foster care funds, is that we can provide the uniforms or an alarm clock or a backpack or school supplies and what have you, and we'll provide that. The transportation issue sometimes rears its ugly head because, you know, the school does provide transportation, but if we do have kids that are missing regularly, we have probation officers or FINS officers and task officers that pick kids up all over the parish all the time.
Studies have shown a link between truancy and early delinquent behavior, which is why TASK works hard to find the root of the problem before a child ends up in the juvenile justice system.
Truancy is the gateway to juvenile delinquency. If they're not in school at an early age, obviously they're going to get behind. When a child gets behind, what do? They get frustrated, and then they start acting out. And that acting out could be in the classroom, it could be at home, or unfortunately it could be out in the community. So that is what we really want to key into right there, is that right there, if we get them early, you know, if we get them early enough and we give them the skills necessary, you know, that they won't come back.
For the Parish Line, I'm J.P. Booth.
TASK is currently located at the Temporary Multi-Agency Resource Center, also known as MARC. That's our October Parish Line. Thanks for watching. If you'd like more information about any of the stories on the program, visit cppj.net.